Works. Okay, let's see if this is going to work. It is a cold, wet, windy, and very, very rainy, stormy night. And of course, where I live, we have very poor signal anyway, as you guys all know by now. But I'm going to see if some comments come up to tell me that I am broadcasting live. The live light is on. I'll just turn my my laptop down, otherwise you'll hear all the notifications. Oh, here I can see some thumbs up. Hey everybody, kia ora. 53 people on. Oh, g'day. Kia ora, Robert. Good to see you, mate. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Shayla. Hey, Lisa. Auntie Aroha. Old Pearl. Kia ora, Pearl. Rachel. Hey, Chelsea. Hey, Gayleen. Cliff. Good evening, sir. Talioli. Nice to see you. Mason. Kia ora, Henry. Hey, brother. Marnie. Joanne, Kate Pai, Karina, Sam, Kerry Pritchard. Hey, kia ora, Kerry. Nice to see you. Lisa. And Donna. Hey, Donna. Marissa. Jeepers, Warren. Gee, you guys all come up. Hey, Tyler. Now I'm going to do a couple more before I'll crack into the message. Hey, Kim, Diane, Kylie, Mark. Hey, thank you, Mark. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Patsy, Deborah, Natana, Craig, Gladys, and last one, Bradley. Hey guys, good to see you all tonight. I'm sorry I'm late. I've been meaning to have done a Facebook broadcast all throughout today, but as you can imagine, we are in the absolute thick of it. Hey David, Amanda, Patty, Priscilla, and we just got off a huge Zoom with teams from across New Zealand. And what a day it's been in politics, I tell you, just watching everything happen. And to all those people that have been in touch with me saying, yep, you were right. Well, yeah, we know we were right about the lockdown. You know, what Jacinda has announced, saying that they're going to do regional lockdowns if they need to, that's really just a nifty way of kicking off the lockdowns in general. So we know that our intel, as we shared quite a few days ago, is that they were planning a lockdown, and this is what's going to happen. But the disturbing thing that's come out of this is that they're talking about mandatory testing, and that's an invasion of your rights and your privacy. You know if you're sick, you know if you've been in contact with COVID, you know if you're feeling unwell. So why the heck are they going around with these testing kits that we don't trust anyway, that have proven overseas to be untrustworthy? Why would you consent, if you're feeling completely fine, to a 6-inch swab stuck as far up your nasal passage as it can go, so that it comes down the back of your throat? Why is that? Why is that when they have another test that they can do, which is to swab your throat? Now, there's a lot of conjecture, a lot of conspiracies about that, and I'm not going to I'm not going there. But let's just say that enough is when they're going to say they want to put this test swab up your nose. Well, I'm sorry, no, we're not going to have that. We are not going to comply with this. Now, I'm not trying to encourage sedition or non-compliance for the sake of it. I'm not into that. As you know, I'm a Christian man. I believe in law and I believe in order, but I believe in democracy, and I believe that the success of good law is based on the protection of democracy. Without that, then we don't have anything. I think we'd all agree on that. And, you know, and then, you know, on Talkback Radio today, we had Jerry Brownlee saying very clearly that New Zealand should expect to see 5 million vaccinated Kiwis in the next few months. Well, sorry, Mr. Jerry Brownlee from the National Party, we don't subscribe to your point of view, and many of us do not want to be tested, we don't want to be vaccinated, and we don't want medical procedures performed on us, on our persons, on our bodies, that we don't want to have. So this just goes to show all along, it's not just about left and it's not just about right, because behind the scenes it's the same people. We know this. We know that this is true now, don't we? And by goodness, I wish I was not, you know, I wish that, you know, I really wish that I was completely wrong about this. And my good friend too just said, yes, Billy is definitely not a Freemason. Well, I think we've covered that turf, don't you? I think I think we've more than covered that turf. I think that's long been dealt with, and I'm no Chinese CCP, Communist Party, secret agent, not a UN secret agent. I think we need to leave that behind and really concentrate on what we've got, the job that we've got in front of us right now, and that is, of course, to get our plans in place and get our merging partner sorted. I just want to encourage you all that we're having really good conversations with a couple of parties right now, and but just astounds me, guys, that that again, speaking to some of the parties today, they're just not interested in talking to us about being partners. I hate to say it, but it's absolutely true. I don't know where to begin on that, but that I've been canvassing minor parties. There's a few more I haven't rung up, just to say, hey, let's get on with this. Now, I'll tell you something interesting. I had some information sent to me today about a Elections New Zealand Facebook poll, and I've just I posted it before, but it was out of date now, so I've just had the update sent to me, and it's got all the political parties about. It says 2 months until the 2020 New Zealand general election, which party will you be voting for? And it's got all of the parties in order of how they've been voted on, and a couple of us, of course, aren't registered, so they've marked those out. But guess who's in the number one position? New Zealand Public Party has almost has well over 2,500 people saying they would vote for us. Labour Party has about 1,400. National Party has just over under 1,000. New Conservatives have about 200. ACT Party less than that, and then it just goes on. New Zealand First has 34 votes. Legalised cannabis 35. Māori Party only 33. Outdoors Party has 29 people that said they'd vote for them. Social Credit has six votes. And it just goes on and on and on. New Communist Party of Aotearoa, they've got 3. I'm surprised they've got 3. Probably the 3 candidates. And it just goes on and on and on. But New Zealand Public Party has well over 2,500 voters, and the next one is Labour at about 1,000 less, and then you have New Zealand First at 34. You have New Conservatives at a couple of hundred, and you have Outdoors Party at where is that? That's at 29 people who said they will vote for it. And so I don't know, guys. I really don't know why the heck these other parties won't work with us. I don't get it. I spoke to a party today who again said to me, "Why don't I come and merge in with them and destroy what public platform that you guys have created in this movement?" I just don't get it, whānau. I really don't get it. But what we do have to talk about briefly as well is the National Party situation. Now, Judith Collins has been proven to be dishonest. She's been proven to be someone that got caught out lying about business that her husband has been involved with, and the fact that she was on some type of government mission overseas, and she tied in some dinners or a dinner with her husband meeting other people that wasn't declared on her logbook or register, and she lied about it. She got found out about it and had to admit that it did happen. Her husband has been trading in New Zealand based produce, who's Chinese, has been selling off New Zealand stuff to China for a long time, and I don't have any axe to grind against her husband, none at all. If he's got a good business going, good on him. If he's paying the fair price to the people that grow and harvest, good on them too. But what I don't like the idea of, if we're talking about protecting our country, and this is what I've always been about, is protecting our sovereignty. As you know, I was a Māori economist, Māori economy representative at a Chinese business conference about three years ago, and the whole purpose of that was to try and drum up more money in business for our struggling Māori farms, trying to get more money for our beef, our lamb, our produce and our logs and that. And so I'm all into that. I'm all into doing good business, but China is not the only party in town. There are other good trading partners that we can work with, and we don't have to rub anyone else off the map of of trade partners, we don't have to do that. But what we need to do is make sure that we can trust the people in government, and that when we get into these international trade agreements and relationships, that they are for the very best for New Zealand businesses. And I don't trust Judith Collins, and ultimately I don't trust the National Party. Why? Because they are saying that everything is fine with the idea of force vaccinating everybody, that everything's okay with the idea that they just get into government and carry on the same program. Well, it's not okay. We don't agree with it. Certainly all of the people that are jumping on board the New Zealand Public Party bandwagon, none of us are stupid. We know what's going on. We know that our country's been sold from underneath us. We know that our economy has been destroyed by the socialist government. And what is disappointing is that Māori leadership across New Zealand are falling for it. They are falling for what I call funding bribery. You give Jacinda your support, and she promises you loads of funding. Well, funny enough, that funding hasn't arrived. I have a good eye across business, especially in Te Ao Māori, within Māoridom, across the motu, across New Zealand, and there are so many projects that are now stuck in the pipeline because the promised money hasn't come. Now, why is that when we are so far in debt? Because money is going into places where we don't even know where it's going. And that's a major issue. And the bureaucrats that run the agencies, they can't tell you what's going on because they don't know themselves. All of the Provincial Growth Fund projects are basically have been halted. So what's happened is that Labour has decapitated New Zealand First's bag of lollies. So my good friend Shane Jones, who's the minister in charge of the PGF, that's not there anymore, as far as we can tell, and it's not good. And so, the promise of funding is always a very, very good tool to try and convince people to vote your way. But let's not fall for it, because what happens is, if you fall for that, then your funding that you're prepared to sell New Zealand out, then you need to get back on the bandwagon and start looking a lot further than the state of your bank account in the most immediate future. You need to look at what our future is going to look like if we allow Labour to go in again, and if we let National go in without a good, strong opposition partner or coalition partner. And you know what? I think we've actually got a very, very good chance if we can get ourselves sorted over the next day or so. I reckon that people are going to wake up in drives a lot more than what they are right now, and I believe that New Zealand Public Party is going to be the next viable option, because none of the minor parties are adding up to be anything of significance. Someone showed me the latest figures. If all of the minor parties combined, it would be less than 4%. That's all of the minor parties. If they combined, would be less than 4%. And yet, look at the figures on this poll that I'm looking at now. Now, it's an independent poll, I know, but it's very professionally done. I'm going to try and turn around and see if you guys can see that. I don't know if you've been able to see that, but that was my feeble attempt at trying to show you what's there. But we've got well over 2,500 people that have voted for us. National Party, hardly anywhere to be seen. Labour's the next one down from us at just over 1,500, so they're well over 1,000 less than what we've got. You Conservatives, barely 200. ACT Party, a lot less than that, 50. Green Party, hardly any. Vision New Zealand, I think it had 15 at last look. New Zealand First 34, Māori Party 33, and then of course Outdoors Party at only 29. And then after that it just goes way down the list, and it's there's hardly anything there. So we need to get ourselves sorted, guys. If you can get a hold of all of these local parties, these minor parties, and say, hey guys, why don't they come and work with NZPP? That's going to be great. We've actually come up with a great strategy tonight that that regardless of what happens, we are going to be able to stand candidates across New Zealand, and so we're very excited about that. But we need each other. We want to be able to be in a situation where we have everybody uniting to get this government out and protect us. Honestly, I really do. Really do feel it's time that we get over ourselves. We've been given a precious mandate by you, the people, the New Zealand Public Party, and this is a massive platform, and I invite all of the other minor parties to come on board it, join it, lead your portfolio interests, and let's do this. This is the last chance in New Zealand history that we have to defend our future. And the future will either judge us poorly, or the future will say, hey, that New Zealand really stood up for itself and protected our future and our kids' futures. So that's really what I wanted to get to. There's probably going to be stuff that I haven't mentioned that I wanted to, because I have just come off a very, very long and very good planning Zoom meeting with all my team. And we've got some wonderful people that are going to be standing in seat electorates, and they're going to need your support. We need your support and prayers to help us keep going. And we can do this together. We can do this. We can change things. We can change the future. We can protect the future for our children. And if you don't know what we stand for, please go to the nzpp.org site. If you're not a member already, go in there, look at what we stand for and sign up. If you look at the About Us page, we're now going to be inserting pages about profiles of our people. Myself, I'm already in there. Michael Stace, we've got Bill coming on, and then we're going to have a page all about our candidates and about who we are in the party, so that you know who we are, that we're just average, everyday Kiwis who really do care about our country and our protections and freedoms. So please do that if you haven't already. So guys, I'm going to leave that there. Please be careful if you're out on the road. It is a very, very poor night. It's rainy, it's stormy, and it's dangerous out there. Please be careful if you're out on the road driving at any time tonight. If you don't have to drive, please don't. Stay home, stay warm, give your kids cuddles and your wife cuddles and your girlfriends cuddles, and look after each other and be safe. So always remember, New Zealand Public Party is a movement. We're your voice. Why? Because we do say the things that no other party will say, and say it with conviction and loudly. We're your power because you've put me here to lead this movement of yours, and we're your party because you wanted it, and it's yours, and this is what we're doing. So God bless everyone. Please take care and spread the word. Please go to our page and have a look at these updated poll results, because they're very impressive and they're very telling, and New Zealand Public Party is in the #1 slot. Good night everyone, take care, I'll see you tomorrow. Kia ora.